Hi folks, let me tell you about a little nutcracker I developed called Grandpa's Goody Getter. I'll do this cutaway first. This shows you how it works. Everything works off the cam. When I push the handle backwards like this, the cam moves this rod, moves this back, and as this goes back, this bottom ram will drop down. And then whenever you release it, it will come back up, but whenever it comes back up, it automatically locks on any size walnut that you choose. Now when you come forward to break the walnut, you'll see you've got a 5-inch lift from here to this point, but there's only 3/4 of an inch from here to the center of this ram. So you get a tremendous mechanical advantage there. Now one thing about this, I'm just cautioning you right now, and I'll be telling you about this more than once. The biggest problem I have is getting people to grease it. The metal gets metal, it has to be greased. When you get it, it may or may not be greased. So it'll get grease right there. You pull this forward, and then of course this spot back here with that handle straight forward like that, you got to grease that because this goes back and operates this lever. So that's all there is to it. It is that simple. When you get it, it's real simple to install. There'll be 4 screws in the bag. You take the 4 screws and screw it down to a board. You can use a board like this. You can use a bench, cabinet, anything you want to. But now, the more solid you get it, the better it's going to work. So even if you put it on a board, probably best to clamp the board to a table or something like that. Now, they put the screws on it. And the only other thing then would be to screw the handle in. When you get it all the way down, there'll be some of this handle sticking out the bottom. Put that jam nut up on there, tighten that down. Now the handle won't work loose. You'll have no problems. That's as simple as it can get. Now, come over here and show you exactly how it works with this machine. And we'll crack a few nuts here. Now I picked out a soft nut here that's got some of the hull left on it to demonstrate. I don't think this is a good nut. To demonstrate just how it works, whenever you start coming down like this and it's not cracking, that's because all that softness is not getting down to the shell. So when you pull it back up like this, you let the handle back. Whenever you does this, this automatically comes up. Now you're cracking here. You can come on through and crack your nut like that. Well, that is a good one. I can't believe that. That's a mess. Oh, okay. Now, before I go any further, let me explain a little bit on walnuts. There's 31 different varieties of black walnuts according to the authorities that I talked to the last time I talked to him. And I'm sure there's some hybrids come along since then, but there's all sizes, all kinds, and a lot of different descriptions. If I could, let me go over here and show you a couple of nuts right here. You see this, how this nut is pretty smooth on top. There's some indentations on it. And this one right here, this is pretty smooth. Well, that means that that hole that is around it is also smooth. And this, whenever you crack it, it falls away easy. Okay, then you'll get nuts like, well, this one right here. If you can look at this one, you can see how it's got these big lobes, old fingers, big lobes on it. And of course, when you've got a lobe like that, that's a cavity in that shell. And with the cavity in the shell, that thing has really got to break up good before it'll ever come out in big pieces. So what I've done, I've reworked the rams. Been working on these things for 15 years for different rams. And I think I have finally come up with a system. You know, we've always had them to where they'll cut the edges around the tops and the bottoms. But I put a series of 3 rings on these new ones so that it seems like they're breaking regardless of the size of the walnut. Before, I had one size and one size just didn't fit all, so I've done the best I can. Now, you'll learn real quick whenever you go crack these nuts. Come down, you've got good control on it. You'll run real fast, just when I'm going real slow, because you've got real good control on it. And you'll just crack a few of them and you'll know. And I put my fingers around that, you know, just to keep them going anywhere, not tight, loose. You'll learn real quick just when to stop. Now you push the handle back, that releases it, come up. Now you come over here and you can see it's cut rings around those ridges, cut rings around the side of it. Well, this nut's not real good on the inside. That's a nasty looking thing. I'm gonna get rid of that. Sorry about that. Only God and the squirrel knows what's in there. There we go. There we go. 3, 4 pieces, and then some of what's left. That's the entire walnut right there. Come right out. Now I'm going to get a little one. Here's a little bitty one. Does this well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and show you anyhow. It's just an old half-dead walnut, but you can see the nutcracker, what the nutcracker will do. And I'll crack one more black walnut here. And you can see what's happening here. There's a whole nut. Well, there's a half right there, maybe. If I can get it to come on out. It may not. Yeah, there it is. And there. And there's a whole nut came out right there. But what's happening, they're not all going to come out real perfect every time. But the general rule is it's going to be a lot better than anything else you're going to find out there. Now here is a Brazil nut. You'll love this. Put that into a point to point. And those flat sides will fall right off of there. Man, I like those things. Of course, I like any kind of nut. Pecans. I mean, how simple can it get? That one kind of busted up a little bit. Need to soak that one. They're dry. And now here's a little almond. A very small almond. But you can see what you got there. Now, the hickory nuts, there's two different kinds, basically. You have the scaly bark or shag bark hickory nut, which this is. This small one, and normally they are. I've had people tell me that they've seen these things great big. I haven't seen one of them. But anyhow, the scaly bark is going to be the best one to crack, and you can see, just crack it right out of here. And get in here. And well, I'm going to show you something else there. There's a quarter, and there's a quarter, and there's, well, that one broke in half. But we include with every goody getter are these little set of shears. I mean, you got a piece of nut that's trapped like that. You take these right here. Don't use that goody picker like you used to, the horseshoe nail or whatever, that you don't get anything out of it. Take these, snip that, and that nut meat will fall right out of there. You're going to like those. I'll crack another hickory nut. Now, the other hickory nuts, the scale bark hickory nuts, are here, and the other hickory nut is just a normal bark tree, but the hickory nuts that come off of these are going to be generally larger size than these. They got real deep gills in them. The nut meats are smaller and they're harder to get out, much harder to get out. You don't get them out in big pieces like that. But this machine will crack them the very best that they can be cracked. You can go to our website to nut preparation, and you can find a lot more about the hickory nuts and other nuts and nut preparation, which is really critical. You need to watch that video. And there's another video that we have is on maintenance. Tells you everything you need to know to maintain this machine, which is very little. It's pretty simple, but it'll tell you all about that. And if you ever have any kind of problems at all with the machine, you can go to our website and it'll tell you what to do. And if that don't do it, you call me and I'll take care of it. Now one other thing that we have that once in a while you'll need it. You know, these hickory nuts, it'll crack everything down to that with just those regular rams on there. But if you want to crack something real small like a hazelnut, and right now it's about all I can think of that might be that small, what you would need to crack is we put this small nut ram in there. Drop the ram in there. Put the pin back in place. Put the key in there, and then turn that thing sideways and get in there. I can turn it flat. It went flat. So that's what it'll do. The small nut ram. One thing whenever you're changing the rams, always try to remember when that ram goes in, that rounded part's got to go front to back. Anytime you change it out, there'll be a rounded part front to back. If you put it in there wrong, it'll go to dragging and it won't work right, and then you'll be calling me, and then I'll have to tell you what to do. I do want to mention one more thing. My son, who I have turned this business over to, and he's running it, doing a lot better job than I did because he doubled sales in the last year or so. And but he was born he couldn't hear, and that don't bother him hardly at all. It bothered the rest of it a lot more than it bothered him. But the thing that he can't do, of course, is talk onto a telephone. And so I've been handling the phone, and quite frankly, I'd rather go fishing, but I'll keep handling that phone. If you want to call him, he has a relay number. When you're talking to him, you'll be talking to another person who will be either signing or typing to him, and they'll relay the message for you. So, yeah, one more thing that I want to say about this nutcracker is we sell this unit at $79.95. It's always been $69, but our suppliers went up 26% on this last shipment, and we had to go up some, but it only went up $10. Now this is a better nutcracker than anything you can get out there, and there's a lot of them that sell them for 120, 30, 40, and of course some of those crazy ones at $200 to $400. But and I could sell this machine right here very easily for $120 or $30. And but I'm not going to. I'm going to keep the price down. I make a reasonable profit at this, and I'm going to keep the price down there so the people will be able to get a machine that they can afford, and not just a machine they're going to afford, the absolute best thing on the market at the very best price. I love the machine and everything that it does. It's easy to work. It's a tough machine. It's all steel. Made it to last. I guarantee it for 2 years. And I imagine if anybody somewhere down the road after 2 years I'm probably going to go ahead and take care of it as long as I'm around, because I just don't have trouble with these things. Everybody that calls me, and that's very few, half a dozen people, whenever they do call me with some little piddling problem, the first thing they say is they tell me how much they like the machine. When you